Here is some quick mask review. So again, I'm going to unlock my background layer, say OK. And the quick mask is basically a mask, but it's a way to refine your selections. That's how I like to think about it. So if I make a selection with this lasso tool, and it's not a great selection, but I'm just doing my best. I select all this stuff here. And I want to now improve the selection because I didn't get it close enough to these tanks, or for whatever reason you want to change it. You can use a quick mask to do this, and the quick mask tool, or the button, is right here, and you click this, and you can see that now I'm in quick mask mode. I know that this is true because everything is turned pink. Really it's red, but it's set to a transparency so I can see through it. And what this is a preview of my selection border. So to work with the quick mask, you also work in black and white and gray tones, and you use a brush. So I'm going to grab a brush, and again, I never remember whether I'm going to be painting with white or black. I just like to try it out. And so now I know that if I paint with black, I'm adding red to this image, or to the selection, changing the selection border in that way. And if I change it to white, I'm subtracting from the selection, or pulling the selection border back in this direction over here. And you can see that my layers aren't affected at all. This is independent of layers. This is just like it's a selection, basically. It's a visual representation of selections, which are independent of layers. So I'm just going to clean up my selection border now. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to switch back to black and add a little bit more to the side. And if I go too far like this, I can just switch back to white and add a little bit more. Make my brush smaller. If I do a brushstroke like this, it's too far out and I know that it's a mistake, I could just press Command Z and undo it and then start over again. Sometimes it's faster than going back and forth. I'm using the Command key X. So by pressing X, I can switch between black and white. You can watch this switch back and forth, instead of going back and clicking this little curved arrow every time. Both ways work, but since I'm used to doing this, sometimes I just use that key. I'm also using the bracket keys on my keyboard, which the right bracket makes my brush larger, the left bracket makes it smaller. Change my brush size. I actually prefer doing curves like this with a bigger brush. It's a little bit more forgiving. If I like this, then all I have to do to get out of the quick mask mode is to press that button one more time, and then return to my previous viewing screen where I could see my selection. And from this point, I can do a lot of things. I can either just grab these pixels and move them around, or move them into another image, or I could even create a layer mask from this, because now I have my selection cleaned up where I want it to be. I can just press that and hide the rest of those pixels, And again, either move these around with the move tool or move them into another image. So that's the quick mask tool.